Our next speaker is Roshni Wijayasinha, who's the CEO and lead strategist of Prosh Marketing. She'll be delivering a talk on marketing your ESG practices and Insurtech case study. Over to you.
Hi there, welcome to Marketing Your ESG Practices, an Insurtech case study. My name is Roshni Wijayasinha, and I'm the founder of Prosh Marketing, a marketing consulting practice that helps startups and small businesses with fractional marketing leadership. I started my marketing career around 17 years ago, working at a marketing agency, and then had the opportunity to work with some larger tech giants like Microsoft and Sony. Finally, I got to work at my first startup, Kobo, and fell in love with startup marketing. I then went on to work with Juice Mobile, Thinking Capital, and Benecade to grow their marketing teams, and those companies were able to grow and reach exits and investment rounds from $32 million all the way up to over $300 million. At that point, I launched Prosh Marketing, where we were really focused on helping startups with fractional marketing leadership as well as strategy implementation. I received my chartered marketing designation from the Canadian Marketing Association, and I also write for the Forbes Communication Council. I teach startup marketing at York University and mentor at a number of different programs like Futurepreneur, Brampton Venture Zone, the Tree Frog Accelerator, and Venture Lab, and I've recently become a Firehead angel investor as well. I've also worked with a number of different clients in a number of different industries, as you can see here, from technology to professional services to CPG. And you'll note some notable fintech brands, up-and-comers here as well, like GoPeer, Uplink, Rails, and Foxquilt, who we'll be talking about today. So before we get into our case study, I wanted to start with the definition of ESG. As most of you know, ESG stands for Environmental, Social, and Corporate Governance. BDC defines this as a set of practices used to evaluate a company's performance as it relates to social and environmental impact. And a lot of companies are jumping on this train. As of 2020, 88% of publicly traded companies had ESG initiatives in place. More than 3 of 4 small and mid-sized businesses also had formal purpose statements related to ESG. And nearly 1 out of 5 small businesses are using ESG standards such as the UN SDG, GRI, or SASB. And of course, so many companies are doing it, there's a lot at stake. 76% of customers say they will stop buying from companies that treat the environment, employees, or the community in which they operate in poorly. ESG practices can indeed affect operating profits by as much as 60%, according to a recent McKinsey study. Also, organizations with the highest employee satisfaction had ESG scores higher than 14% than the global average. This is likely due to their strong environmental performance. And finally, 88% of consumers will be more loyal to a company that supports social or environmental issues. But what happens if we do this wrong? Many of you may have already heard of the term greenwashing, which are activities by a company or organization that are intended to make people think that it's concerned about the environment, even if its real business actually harms the environment. So greenwashing is essentially claiming you're doing in marketing great things for the environment when you're actually just using this as a marketing ploy. Greenwashing is actually a real thing. In the Google Cloud report they released in 2022, they surveyed executives across 16 countries and found that as many as 4 in 5 see their company's sustainability efforts as above average, but only 36% of those respondents actually had tools in place to measure the effectiveness of their sustainability efforts. This led to 58% of executives admitting that they believed that their organizations were actually overstating their efforts to go green, and a further 2/3 actually questioned how genuine some of their organization's sustainability initiatives were. An example of this is in 2022, just last year in the UK, HSBC was called out by the Advertising Standards Authority after receiving 45 complaints about misleading climate ads. HSBC actually ranks 13 for the top banks financing fossil fuels in the UK and still finances carbon-heavy industries like thermal coal mining. So HSBC was called out for saying that they're doing all of these socially and environmentally friendly activities, but maybe they're not so environmentally friendly because, in fact, they had an estimated $8.7 billion of investment into new oil and gas in 2021. This environmental nuance they left out in the ads actually had them have to revoke their ads because they weren't being fully transparent, and this was seen as misleading. Ultimately, it all starts with trust. Your customers must trust you from a place of logic. They must know that you can do it. They must also really believe that you care about them and their success. And finally, they have to experience the real you. So you have to live and breathe your sustainability efforts, and you can't just talk about them. And you must be thinking, this is a yawn. This must be super boring at a fintech. How do I do this? And it doesn't necessarily have to be boring. This brings us to our case study about our Insurtech and the work that we did here in creating a fun and approachable way to talk about our social efforts. The company, as I mentioned, was FFCON23. And at the time, FFCON23 was selling home and business insurance to smaller groups so that they could group together for group savings on their home insurance, as well as their business insurance. The first campaign we ran was a campaign that targeted community. And ultimately, the reason why we leaned into community was it was at the core of our mission and vision. Our mission was really to bring people together for group savings on their insurance, but this meant more than just group savings. It meant community, and community to us meant support at times of need, like an insurance company should be there when you need them. It also meant helping our community grow and helping connect them with valuable connections. So all of these things really made an impact on our strategy because they were core to our value as a business. And so the first campaign, as I mentioned, was an influencer challenge, and I'll play this video and we'll chat about it in a sec.
Hi everyone, I'm Danny.
I am Rebecca, and we are YouTubers.
Yes, now as content creators, we often work together to increase our following and grow our reach.
Because when we collaborate together, we win together.
Yes, there is power in numbers.
There is an insurance company called FFCON23 that is working with that idea. Content creators and other social groups together for better buying power. They offer group savings on business, home, rental and condo insurance.
Now they believe in the power of community. That's why they created the FFCON23 Community Pool to help support local organizations. Now they have asked us to help them choose between 3 great charities, and we have nominated the Full Circle Art.
Here is how you can vote for our charity.
Well, you can click the link in my bio
Or my bio
to get a quick and free insurance quote.
Make sure you click on the content creators group.
And every single quote counts as a vote towards our charity.
So not only can we give back together, we can save together on our insurance.
Because when you share together, you also win together.
Which means we'll also have more money to spend on things we love, like camera equipment, lighting equipment. We'll spend less time worrying about our insurance and more time creating content.
Thanks for watching, guys. Click the link in our bios, and we'll see you around.
Bye.
Share together, win together at foxquill.com.
So this is an example of one of the videos we created with one of our different groups within our community, YouTubers. We also had real estate agents, we had pet lovers, we had healthcare professionals, all who were grouping together for group savings on their insurance. And by motivating them in this contest for people to sign up for insurance within these groups, we actually had a ton of signups, but we also drove interest and awareness in some of these community organizations like Full Circle Arts. The winner of this contest was actually the Pet Lovers group because they had so many signups and lots of people who love pets. And we were actually able to make a donation to save our scruff, which was impactful for the organization, impactful for the community, but also impactful for us as an organization because we really believed in helping our community. And so we didn't just talk the talk, we walked the walk with our influencer campaign and integrated community in here as well as social giving. The next event that we worked on was the FFCON Entrepreneur Summit. Here we wanted to bring together our business users and our business buyers all together for a reason that was to help them grow their business. It wasn't just to talk about insurance because nobody wants to come to an insurance event that sounds pretty boring, but people as entrepreneurs really wanted to learn about how to grow their business and how could they improve themselves. And so we brought together panels from HR, technology, operations, finance, and we provided really valuable information on how to grow their businesses, helping our target audience of business buyers really grow themselves and learn more about our company in a setting where we weren't just talking about boring insurance. We were talking about things that were actually adding value to their business, in addition to the value that insurance could provide them. Ultimately, we were successful in running these events. We had sold out crowds for our first event, and we were partnered with Workplace One, Tech Connects, and Deloitte Private for subsequent events. And rooms were full of entrepreneurs learning and growing and networking. And this brought our community together in such a great way. We were all just so jazzed from these events as employees, but our customers were also talking about these events for weeks after they happened. And then the pandemic happened, and we shifted our Foxquill Entrepreneur Summit online. But we also saw that our customers were doing a lot of amazing work in the community. There were people being super innovative, and as well, there were companies that were doing really great work in the community. So we created the Foxquill Community Cup, and we created an awards ceremony. We had our community vote for the top performers on a landing page, and ultimately from these people who had been nominated, we were able to get two winners, one who had the most innovative work during the pandemic and one that had the most community work during the pandemic. And ultimately, we had a great award ceremony where we brought in a magician and a musician to really celebrate the work that all of our clients and potential target audience were doing in the community as businesses. And this really showed our commitment to the community and re-emphasized our values about really believing in connecting people and championing our entrepreneurs and our audience. We also had a number of different client spotlights because we wanted to make sure that our community was highlighted in everything we did. And we were present in webinars where we were offering value on how to grow their businesses, like marketing, or how to do specifically fitness and health professional business. We also attended Woofstock because we had employees who were really passionate about dogs and pets, as well as participated in JDRF because we had employees again who were really passionate about that cause. And so ultimately, all of these things wrap up in authenticity. Authenticity is the number one thing that a brand needs in terms of marketing its ESG practices. And this stems from being true and genuine to who you are as a company and as employees. It comes from a place of trust and integrity, as well as transparency, because you can't just talk about one part of your business and hide other pieces your target audience will follow and find out. And finally, authenticity has to be wrapped in everything else that you do, from strategy to value to design, etc. So thank you for today's chat, and please keep in touch. You can find me on LinkedIn, Roshni Wijayasinha, or follow me on Twitter at Roshni Michelle or at Prosh Marketing. I hope you enjoy the rest of your conference and have a great day.